think that public art is a really nice way to brighten up a space, a city or community. It really brings people together in unexpected ways. Yeah, I think it's really fun.
The type of public art that I pay attention to is kind of a variety, definitely murals. I feel like kind of alley street art is becoming a kind of cool aspect in kind of communities, but also kind of landscaping as well is really neat and can brighten an area. It also provides that greenery. And then also obviously there's kind of more abstract art where it's, I think there's a time and a kind of place for all the different aspects of art. The type of public art that I'd like to see more of is probably community murals. I think it's really neat to be able to bring the community together over a space and to be able to showcase the things that are relevant to that community as well, and cultures that live within that community.
I would like to see more murals, particularly on the North Shore. I know there are a couple places that have them, and I know there was a movement a couple years ago in Vancouver to have more murals, like mural festivals and things like that. But I think there's a couple cities that do it really well. I know Montreal has an annual mural festival, and I think it'd be so cool if we could see something like that here in Vancouver.
So it's public art from a municipal perspective, like we're working on here, and my role is it has a set of policies and procedures that we follow. So we basically start off looking at where public art might go. We determine a budget, and then we put out a call to artists. And once we put out the call to artists, the artists are then allowed to apply for the opportunity, and they can present their ideas at that point in time. And what we do is we have an artist selection panel that's different people from the community every single time there's a piece of art. So lots of people in the community get an opportunity to help select which piece goes in and which one maybe was close but didn't quite get it. Yeah.
The general public of the North Shore has lots of positive opinions on public art. Sculptures like the camel on 13th, the colorful walls around Lonsdale, and the indigenous art that represents a culture that holds so much history. There's one art type that often goes ignored and many of us misunderstand: graffiti.
What do I think of people using graffiti to express themselves? Well, I am in favor of people creatively expressing themselves with whatever way moves them. And if graffiti is the way that they feel moved to do so, then I think it's great. I actually, though, don't really think it's a good idea to do it on private property. And so I think that's where the dilemma happens. And so there's a bit of a disconnect there between how it gets installed, but the actual act of graffiti and the type of graffiti is fantastic, usually. How would I feel about the city providing spaces for people to graffiti? I think it's a complicated question. The city of North Vancouver is one of the healthiest and most environmental municipalities in the Lower Mainland. It's the use of aerosol spray cans, it can be really bad on the environment. So if there was a way to sort of control that it was done environmentally, and if there was a wall that we could perhaps provide that would allow for people to graffiti in an environmental way, and in a way that people could maybe also regulate kind of what's getting put on the wall, then great. And as long as there's no tagging.
One local artist uses graffiti as a way to connect with people who are like them. Graffiti for them and many other artists is how they express what they've been through. Graffiti isn't always tagging. It can be a way for people to spread their art through the community where people can see and experience it for themselves.
I think graffiti definitely has a place within the community, and if it's given space, I think that's important. I think obviously graffiti has this negative connotation because it's seen as like tagging or things that happen on property that doesn't belong to people, so it's trespassing, I guess. But there is definitely like a place for that type of art, and I think it needs to be redefined as an actual art form as opposed to a negative art form, I guess.
I think that graffiti is an interesting way that people choose to express themselves. I have seen really cool and innovative ways that graffiti is being used. I don't really support the way that it's used to deface buildings, particularly small businesses, people's vehicles and things like that. I think that that's unfortunate, and it comes at a cost that is usually somebody that is all for art, but just not in the ways that it's been presented. I know that other cities have supported graffiti in certain spaces to, again, promote the self-expression and the variety through which it can be expressed. But again, not on people's buildings, not on people's vehicles.
Yeah, my opinion on people using graffiti to express themselves is, I think it's again, it's an art form, so that's just their medium, and they have every right to use that, and I think it's just a matter of finding and giving them spaces where they can express themselves in a place where it's not damaging anyone else's property or trespassing or causing any challenges or issues within the community.
I think graffiti is a great way to express yourself, as long as it's done in a respectful way. I don't think it's fair to put any limitations in the ways that people express themselves, again, as long as it's safe and respectful and not coming to a cost of somebody else. So if there was like a mural space where everybody was able to come and tag that wall and it was pre-approved and everything was done ahead of time, great, but I think just defacing some buildings, maybe not so much.
I'd feel comfortable with the city providing spaces for graffiti, within the communities, within areas and alleyways where things are, seem kind of gloomy sometimes or dark and could use a bright space. So definitely agree that it would be good for the city to allow that.
If the city provided spaces for people to graffiti, I think it would be a really cool way to bring local graffiti artists together. I think it's really innovative. It is a creative solution to a lot of what's already being done, but provides a better space and more purposeful space for it to happen.